What's up, everybody? We're starting a facility spotlight series here, and my man Ari from Asteri Sports down in South Carolina is here joining us today. Ari, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Thanks for having me.
Let's get right into the teeth of this. We want to talk, and obviously, like you've been with Pelotero now for a few months, and I think what we're trying to do is very in line with what organizations that are working with us, our partners, are doing. Tell us about your hitter development systems before Pelotero and how were you capturing data? What were you doing with it? How were you using it? And then we'll just kind of go from there.
Cool. So before, we've been open since January. Everybody was just on a private model, pretty standard 30-minute hour. If they wanted the data and the science, we charged a monthly membership. And that was our way of covering the cost of the Rapsodo, covering the cost of blast motion, all the fees that come with implementing science into the swing. And then now that we start Pelotero, we don't charge that anymore. We don't feel like we have to do that. There's no need for it because we started doing group training. So we do groups of 3 to 4 for an hour, and it's just a flat rate. They all have their programs. They come in, they get their work, and they have a good time. That's the best. The biggest thing I've seen is they're just a lot more laid back in their training sessions. They can fail. They feel like it's okay to, like, all the pressure of me, I have to perform because I'm in this 30-minute session that my dad paid for. They don't have that anymore. They have the freedom to be like, okay, I can try some things. I don't have to feel amazing when I leave the cage, right? And that is huge, not only for me as a facility owner, knowing my guys are enjoying the process, but the fact that they are going to come back because they are enjoying it. And it gives me that comfort knowing they're going to come back because they know what we're about, and we don't mess around and we don't take advantage of nobody, and they love it.
It's so cool what you just said. Like they feel like they have the freedom to fail. And I don't think I've heard anybody say it that well. We gotta expand on that a little bit because I think the two parts of amateur development are fun and learning how to compete.
No, what we do is I walk in day one, kid doesn't know me. Kid doesn't have a relationship with me. He doesn't know me on a personal level. The first thing I tell him is, you can fail here. Like, it's okay to fail. It's okay to feel weird. It's okay to be awkward. I'm not going to judge you for it. It's a safe space. Like, you generate that safe space for all of your athletes, and they know he's not only my hitting coach that my dad is paying and my dad knows more about than I do. He's always going to have my back, even if my dad doesn't, or even if my mom is, or something's going on outside of baseball. Like, that guy will be there for me. And having that safe space where they're like, okay, I'm good. It's just like a home for me, right? And giving them that place to really grow, not only as athletes but as players and as people. That's really what I try to do. And having the ability to do that with Pelotero now, because I can see more guys and I can open my door to more people, and having that communication back and forth with them has been essential to growing the facility as fast as it's been going.
Tell me what when we first talked, right? We did a demo with you that, and I'm going to put this out in the universe. We don't, Patrick, you can cut this, but Ari blew us off in his first demo. Just so you
I already
know, like
told him. I already told
he
Patrick.
scheduled it and then he didn't show up. But I was, I said, hey, I'll come to the next one. It's okay. What were like motivating factors? What were the things that you were really attracted to about, I guess, our interactions at first?
I just like the idea of having a more simple process when it comes to training. Like, I wanted a more mainstream ability to, the way I call it and the way I talk to Patrick about it is I can spit game, right? I can share my experience. I can share the feels I've had, the feels that can get my athletes to where they need to be. Because I've always noticed, like, they respond better when I give them a feel than they ever did on any drill I ever gave them. Like, any T drill, any front toss drill, machine drill, approach, anything. If I could always connect what they're trying to do with the feel or what they have to think, they always got better. Like, it was like there was no failure. Like, obviously there's times where you try and share a feel and they don't get it yet, but you try to audible and you try to switch it up, right? But that's where the true value in me being a coach for them or a mentor for them, that's where it's at. And Pelotero having that ability to be like, okay, here's the major issues we found, right? Here's what we see. Here's what the plan is going forward. Drill A, B, C, D, E. And I can worry about more Okay, how do I spin my game to get this athlete to where he needs to be and where he wants to be at the end of the day, right? Because the way I say it to every dad that calls me is, doesn't matter if he's 12 years old or he's committed to a Division I program. It's like, I'm gonna take care of your son. Like, don't worry about it. I got him. Like, don't worry about anything. Don't worry about if he's getting quality work in. Don't worry about if he needs to call me at 10 o'clock at night. I got him. And I take
It's
great
awesome.
pride in being able to be like, I got them. And then when they're in here, I back it up, and sharing their feels, all that stuff, having the how you feel today conversation, how, like, are you sore? Are you tired? What's going on? All that, like having the freedom to do that in a session rather than, okay, you're here for 30 minutes, dad paid for 30 minutes. We got to do T drills. We got to do soft toss drills. We got to do machine drills all in this short amount of time. I can be like, hey, what's going on? Talk to me. Like, come, like, open up the door for them to be like, dude, I feel like I don't feel good today. I'm like, that's fine, right? But no kid will tell you that when you are hounding them the moment they come in the door, right? They need to have that calm down, and then they start coming out of their shell a little bit, and then you'll have guys just wanting to have a good time with you, and then that's where you got guys really developing when they want to be there with you, bro. You can't beat it. Like, you can, when they walk in the door and they're laughing with you and they're calling you because they want to talk to you, then you
Yeah.
got them, and that's where they're going to develop. Not just because you do a cage rental and you have a cage, they're going to come in, right? That extra, no, he's my dude. I got him. Like, that's where I pride myself, and Pelotero has allowed me to really focus, which has been like amazing. Like, I can't really describe the better feeling it gives me to share it with those kids.
That's incredible, man. And I'm resonating with so much of the stuff that you're saying, because what are our plans moving forward, and how do we get to the root of like how to help you the best? But
Mm-hmm.
spending the time on this drill or that drill, or figuring out what the drill is or what the plan is for an individual player, that's not the crux of what you're doing and what you're delivering to players, is it?
No, absolutely not. You are, plain and simple, if we're breaking down this entire industry that should not be this big, but it is you're being a mentor to their kid, and the parents are paying you to be taking care of their kid and raising them to be adults in the best way you can. And without, for me, without having like Pelotero like that to be able to get rid of the unnecessary stuff and worry more about my connection with the kids and being a positive mentor and influence, not only has made the kids more comfortable, it's made the parents want to bring them more. It's made my relationships with parents even tighter, because we'll have conversations on the side, and instead of being a normal hitting coach just talking about baseball, I can talk to them about people, like as a person, like something, maybe raising issues that they didn't even know existed in their own home, right? Like, that's where it's really important, and that's where you develop people. Like, you're developing athletes, but you're developing people, right? And as long as you have the ability to do that, it doesn't matter the drill you're doing. It doesn't matter you know, how well you hit off the machine that day, right? They're gonna, whether they play in the big leagues or they finish in high school, they're gonna be like, that guy like had my back. That guy changed my life. That guy really taught me how to be an adult. That guy taught me how to handle myself. That guy taught me the right from the wrong. That, like, when I'm gone, I don't want people to think I'm like, dude, he got my swing right. Like, nah. I want them to be like, dude, that dude had everyone's back all the time. Doesn't matter.
You have to discover what's right for you. And I think that's what delivering a training plan to an athlete, it just takes a layer of thought process away. It takes a layer of, well, why am I doing this drill, or what drill am I doing today? And
Yep.
A, it takes that burden off the coach, and then B, gives the player a roadmap to go down, right? Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah. No, the roadmap is huge. Like, the ability not only to have a plan for the day, but a plan for the month, a plan for the next 3 months, a plan for the year, right? Allows the athletes to be like, dude, I got some time. Like, it's okay to, like, back to what I was saying about failing. Like, I have the next 8 months of my training planned. If I have a bad day, there's gonna be another day. There's gonna be another rep, right? And it's just like planning out for them. I didn't see it as beneficial as it actually has been for us. And then being able to plan out their whole year and being like, hey, guess what? You're back on Tuesday. Like, it's okay, right? But then being able to physically see, I was like, oh yeah, I am back on Tuesday. I got the same stuff. I got some different feels, and they like start craving it. They're like, dude, might have had a bad day, but I'm not gonna be discouraged. I'll just come back and work again, right? But came on with Pelotero late August, so summer ball was kind of already winding down, or late August, late June. So it was already kind of like mid-season, kind of hard to sell that type of a program. Um, while it was in the middle of their season, right? Because I wasn't going to be able to be like, hey, I'm going to get your whole season planned out for you, right? I had some guys that I just did it for free. I didn't charge them. I'm like, hey, I just want to get some numbers. I just want to see how this works. And it's very insightful. I was able to see a lot of issues. I was able to see a lot of um, in-game stuff I would never see with them just coming in here. But the biggest thing was it allowed me to have those conversations that I've been talking about of like, how you doing, all that stuff and that I have in the cage when they're on the road, like when they're in Atlanta or when they're in, in Florida. I'm like, how you doing? Right. And I'll send them a text and we'll have a whole on conversation about how they're feeling. I didn't have my best day. And then we'll like have those dialogues and not having that ability to track and be there with them, because sometimes when they call you and you don't know what's going on, you don't see anything, there's not a whole lot of insight you can give your player other than you're just trying to build their confidence back up. Like you're just trying to make them feel good. You're trying to be like, hey, you've done the work. It's okay. But for some guys, they're like, I know I've done the work, but I need something more for you to validate that, like, I am okay. Right. And that's like the hardest thing that I've encountered before Pelotero was I had nothing. Like if dad didn't take a video, I'm not there. I have no idea what's going on in the game. Right. So I'm like, and I'm trusting this 13, 14, 15, 17-year-old kid. What does it feel like? And they don't even know what approach they're in that day, right? Like I'm expecting a conversation with like my big league guys when I have a 15-year-old in front of me, right? It just doesn't work, right? So having hitting approach and being able to be like, hey, dad, just take the video, send it to me. I'll mark every pitch, right? I'll see everything that happened. And when he texts me, he's like, dude, I had a bad game. I'm like, you didn't have that bad of a game, right? I see it. I saw everything you just did,
Yeah.
right? I'm there with you. I'm pretty much in the dugout with you, right?
Yeah.
Now I get to tell him like, what were you thinking though while you were in the box? Because that's what I can't see, right? And that gets back to like, where do you see a lot of growth is with feels and approaches and all that stuff. That's where I have that conversation. I'm like, yeah, you rolled over 2 changeups on the outer third of the plate. Who cares, right? But what was your approach there? Like, what were you thinking? Like, you're facing soft tossing lefty. Like, what are you thinking? He's like, I'm trying to pull something in the left center gap. Probably not the best approach for you to have against a soft tossing lefty, right?
Yeah.
But that's where I can see he didn't get blown up inside, or I can see what possibly his approach was and how I can fix it for the next day.
Sure.
Rather than I'm just sitting there trying to be a positive confidence booster for him, and I'm not really helping him as an athlete, right? Which there's always a time and place. Like every athlete's going to have up and down, and you're going to have to be that guy for them. But a lot of the time, they want the analytical, what did I do, rather than the positive guy all the time. Because that gets tiring. Like if you're talking to a guy every time, it's like, dude, I'm not hitting well. It's like, you're good, man. You're positive. Like, dude, I remember when I played, those guys got old fast, man. Like
Uh,
so fast.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and I literally go like, and I don't want to curse on this because we're gonna put it on social media, but I was like the guy that's like, hey man, you're good, just stay confident. They're like, dude, I'm 0 for 26. Like
Yeah, like
my swing's broken. What do you like? What like? I'll be really
yeah,
positive today. So
yeah,
it's about having the ability to like talk about different things, and it's the same thing. I really think it's the same thing. I tell players all the time, like you have to have different tools in your belt for different moments, right? That's baseball. That's why it's a chess match, not it's not a checkers game. It's a chess match. And like in that chess match, like sometimes you have to make a move that you wouldn't normally make. It's you got to pull this tool out for this job right now, as opposed
mm-hmm.
to pulling this tool out for the job right now, which you might think makes sense. And I really believe that's the same thing on the coaching side, right? Like on the instructor side, on the mentor side, you have to understand the moment. You have to have enough feel for the moment to understand, okay, like maybe now we need to talk about game plan. Maybe now we need to talk about, a feel with a mechanical feel. Maybe now we need to talk about whether it's a timing issue, and maybe now it's just the pump up speech. Like the
Yep.
different moments call for different situations, and I think that's really cool that you're kind of feeling a lot of things that we set out to do.